The wind outside howled through the narrow gaps of the high school's aging windows, its mournful wail competing with the low hum of fluorescent lights in the dimly lit classroom. It was just past 2 p.m., a time when the students of Greenwood High usually began watching the clock, eager to escape their desks and textbooks. But today, no one moved. The room was unnervingly silent. Ms. Reynolds, the history teacher, stood near the door, her face pale but composed. She had locked the door just minutes ago after the announcement. "This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill." Principal Carter's voice had cracked over the intercom, each word sending a chill down every spine in the school. The students, initially unsure whether this was another safety exercise, quickly realized from Ms. Reynolds' hurried actions and the unspoken fear in her eyes that something was very wrong. The blinds were drawn, and the lights were switched off. They were instructed to sit silently against the wall, far away from the windows. The classroom felt like a pressure cooker, the anxiety and fear thickening the air. Marcus, a junior sitting closest to the teacher, whispered, "Ms. Reynolds, do you know what's happening?" She hesitated, her fingers gripping the edge of the desk tightly. Finally, she shook her head. "I don't know, Marcus. Just stay quiet, all of you." The minutes crawled by. Every small noise, the creak of a chair, the rustle of clothing seemed amplified in the oppressive silence. Then, a distant sound broke through, the faint but distinct echo of footsteps in the hallway. Heavy, deliberate steps. The students' eyes widened. Ms. Reynolds held a finger to her lips, her expression now a mix of determination and terror. Whoever was walking wasn't in a hurry. The steps grew louder, closer. Then they stopped, right outside the door. For a moment, everything was still. The only sound was the collective, shallow breathing of 20 terrified students. Then, the doorknob rattled. It was a faint sound, but in the silence, it was deafening. Ms. Reynolds motioned for the students to remain still. She grabbed a heavy textbook from her desk, clutching it as though it were a weapon. The doorknob rattled again, this time more violently. A low voice, muffled but unmistakably male, called out, "I know you're in there." Someone in the back let out a muffled sob. Ms. Reynolds glared in their direction, silently pleading for quiet. The tension in the room was unbearable. Suddenly, there was a loud bang. It wasn't a gunshot, at least. It didn't sound like one, but it reverberated through the walls like an explosion. The students flinched, and Ms. Reynolds took a step back, her knuckles white as she gripped the textbook. The voice outside grew louder. "Open the door. I just want to talk." No one moved. The banging continued, each hit against the door causing the students to jump. Then, just as abruptly as it had started, it stopped. The silence that followed was even more